Hey y'all, welcome back to yourself. I want to talk about something today that most people never really think about when they're trying to heal or transform their bodies and their lives. And like you can want it and you can try, little things here and there, and you can even feel like you're doing all the right things, but you still feel stuck in a rut. And sometimes it's not because you're doing anything wrong in particular, it's because of who you believe you are while you're trying to do these things. Most people think healing is about more discipline, more routines, more information. More information is a big one. That's why I'm doing long form right here. So if you're new here, I'm Samantha. I'm a former ICU trauma nurse turned holistic guide. I healed myself and my daughters from autoimmune disease. I've been pharmaceutical free for 12 plus years, and I have a passion to help women and people really feel and embody who they truly are, their higher selves. So healing their bodies, showing up in an authentic way, and building the life of their dreams. I am passionate about building businesses as well, so being very creative in that aspect. So be sure to subscribe so we can be YouTube friends. But anyway, so you need not more information at this point. If information was the healing key, then we would all be healed by now, right? So the truth is, you don't need more information. You need more habits and changes. And you have an identity crisis. You have to know who you are. And your identity is the filter your entire life moves through. So if your identity is, I'm always tired, I never stick to things, I'm the overwhelmed one, I fall off everything I start, so I'll just try again next year. Your nervous system starts organizing your behavior around your identity. Not because it's true, but because it's familiar. And it's that filter, you know? Um, and this is where it gets real, it can be hard. Even when you're trying to change your habits, if your identity hasn't changed yet, your nervous system will pull you back. Because the nervous system, I know I've covered this before, doesn't really prioritize growth. It definitely prioritizes safety, convenience, and just the familiar. And even when it's painful, because I know from experience. So you start something new, you feel good for a moment, and then suddenly you drift back into an old pattern. And you think, see, I just can't stay consistent. But what's actually happening is deeper than discipline. It's identity tension. One part of you is trying to grow, while the other part is trying to stay safe and the same, even if it's painful. And for a lot of women, burnout doesn't just become an experience, it actually becomes our identity. You start to say things like, I'm just tired, I don't have time, I always end up overwhelmed. And without even realizing it, you start to organize your life around that particular version of yourself. Not because you want to stay stuck, but because it becomes the most familiar way to be. And so the question becomes, how do you actually change this? How do I change this? Not by forcing myself or shaming myself or trying to become a completely different person overnight. You change it by gently interrupting the identity loop and starting to practice something new. Um, for example, I'm someone who never sticks to things. You could start saying, I'm learning how to stay with myself and show up in a different way. And instead of saying something like, I'm always overwhelmed, you could say, I'm becoming someone who moves slower and supports my nervous system and my well being. Or, I always fall off the wagon. I come back to myself when I notice I drift. You notice, like, it's not about perfection, it's about like redirecting yourself. You have to mother yourself. Healing, because healing isn't just about doing things differently, it's about becoming someone who can hold a different version of the life that you dream of, that you feel called to deeply. And that requires safety, not pressure, not punishment or force, but being gentle with yourself. Honest, but gentle. Consistently showing up for your nervous system, for your body, for your spirit. This is safe now. We don't have to survive in the same way anymore. You know? So if you take anything from this particular video, let it be this: you are not stuck because your lack of discipline. You are not broken. Your body's not broken. You are simply just living inside of an identity that you have learned to survive with. And identities can change with intentional repetition, slow, gentle awareness, and through coming back to yourself again and again. All right, y'all. Take care of yourself now. Come back and see me again soon. Remember, healing is your nature.